The screaming had stopped hours ago. Now only the sound of breathing remained, not his own, not the others. Something else, something deep inside the ship, something awake. Captain Elric Voss clutched the rifle in his hands, though he no longer knew why. He had fired every round, but nothing died. He pressed his back against the wall, the dampness of it soaking through his suit, warm, pulsing, moving. He squeezed his eyes shut, forcing the memories back into order. How did this happen? Where was the crew? Where was the Icarus? A voice crawled through the dark. His own voice. We never left. 14 hours earlier. The distress beacon pulsed like a dying heartbeat. The waveform undulated, erratic, barely holding together. Artificial, but wrong. A distress call shouldn't age. This one sounded decomposed. Dr. Annika Solov, the ship's exohistorian, chewed the inside of her cheek as she ran another filter over the signal. It's a voice, she said. Multiple voices, layered. Lennox Fry, the ship's engineer, frowned at his console. There's no way this thing is real. The readings don't match. Kara Ives, the pilot, exhaled through her nose. I don't like this. Voss sat at the center of the bridge, jaw tense. He looked at the display, at the coordinates where the signal came from. A void in space, no systems, no planets, no records. Set a course, he said. That was their first mistake. The object was monstrous. Not a station, not a ship, not a planet, something else. It loomed in the dark, an endless blackened mass with no apparent construction, no seams, no panels. It was as if it had been grown, not built. Voss felt the pressure of it before they had even docked, a headache burrowing behind his eyes, a feeling of something watching them from inside. We shouldn't be here, Kara muttered. Lennox muttered a curse. No life signs, no atmosphere, no power, a beat, then. So why is the beacon still transmitting? Solov checked her screen. I don't know, but whatever this is, it's old. They entered through a wound in the structure's side, jagged, unnatural, torn from within. The air was thick, not a vacuum, but not breathable either, something in between. The walls shifted under their lights, reflecting strangely, as if refusing to be observed. Then the first sign of life, a handprint, pressed into the blackened wall, stretched, melted, like something had tried to claw its way out. Solov whispered, I think someone was absorbed into this. Lennox's voice cracked. Or they became it. Then the time skips began. Kara turned a corner, and she was gone, not taken, not removed. She had never been there. The suit's internal clocks desynced. Their logs rewrote themselves. Conversations looped, then rearranged. They found the same corridor again and again, even when walking in opposite directions, and then the shadows moved. Voss lifted his rifle. A dark mass hung just beyond the reach of their lights, skittering like it was trying to choose a shape. Then it spoke. Help me. Solov froze. That's the distress signal. Lennox's voice was a whisper. No. That's Kara. Voss turned. Kara stood there, or what was left of her. Her body was folded wrong, her arms too long, her mouth gaping open, stretching, distorting into a silent scream. Her flesh rippled. Something else was beneath it. Her head snapped toward them, and she moved. The next few minutes were chaos. Voss fired. The rounds ripped through her, but she did not fall. She unraveled, splitting apart into black strands, spiraling toward them. They ran, blindly, stumbling, screaming. Solov sobbed. She's still talking! She was. Kara's voice, no voices were whispering from the walls, the floor, the air. Come back! Don't leave me! I don't want to be alone! Lennox turned a corner and vanished. Voss and Solov kept running, the walls folded around them. They were being herded. Something descended from the ceiling. A shape, incomprehensible. Shifting, moving, wrong. It had no limbs, no face, just a presence, a weight in the air. It did not lunge. It swallowed. Solov's scream stretched as if time itself had been pulled apart. She was folding inward, her body contorting in ways it should not. Her skin cracked, revealing blackness underneath. Voss grabbed her arm, and his fingers sank through her. Her eyes met his, wide with terror. "It doesn't kill us!" Her voice cracked, warping. "It makes us part of it!" She reached for him as she was pulled downward, into the ship itself. Voss staggered back, heart hammering. He was alone. Then his own voice whispered from the dark. "Come back, Captain, you never left." The Icarus drifted in orbit, dark and still. A beacon pulsed from the black structure, steady, rhythmic, waiting. Inside, the walls breathed, and the voices whispered, "We never left." A new signal flickered through the void, reaching toward the next ship, the next crew.